Hello, class. Welcome to our class. And today we want to continue with development in comparative education. And we are going to move to the next phase, and that is the social science perspective, which lasted from the end of the Second World War to the present. Now, since the end of the Second World War in 1945, interest and activity in comparative education have developed dramatically and especially in two main aspects. The work of new and influential national and international agencies involved in educational inquiry, planning, and program implementation started taking shape. In phase, in these assertions, there were those comparativists or the comparative educationists who saw the field most productive future in terms of more active involvement in international projects of an inquiry and potential performance kind. Increased activity and teaching of comparative education as a discipline in colleges, universities, and comparative education centers in research. This also points to a further shift on emphasis on social sciences. This one you can refer to Gattao 1996, who enumerated that the factors that there were several factors in contemporary aspects of contemporary education, and these factors he highlighted them as the drive for more knowledge and globalization. He also pointed out the drive for liberal or being at liberty with the Proclamation of Human Rights by UNESCO in 1948. He also talked about urbanization as a result of industrialization. He talked about population explosion due to development of medical science, where 50% of the population is under 20 years. And lastly, he pointed out the drive for the reconstruction of peace to facilitate material, moral, and spiritual reconstruction. The outcome of the above forces can be noticed in the following. One, the greater effort to democratize education, to make it available to all as a way of ensuring uh, a reasonable good life. There was also diversity, diversification to diversification of education to serve and suit diversified societies and communities. There was also greater concern and effort to provide quality education for purposes of progress. There was also creation of international organizations like UNESCO, UNICEF, WHO, UNEP in order to promote human welfare. There was reconstruction of peace, democratization, diversification, and improvement of education and management of knowledge. I don't know if you are getting me. If you are, tell me so. I want you to tell me so if you are getting me clearly, or if you are having a problem with my voice, I also want you to say so. There was several things or several factors that motivated uh, various scholars uh, towards this phase. So we want to talk about motivation and characteristics of this phase, the motivation and characteristics of this phase. Now, since the Second World War in 1945, there has been less concern for analysis of andersons and more analysis for contemporary relationships. The mode of analysis have been less historical and more quantitative and also more empirical, drawing on the techniques and conceptual frameworks of sociology, economics, and political science in particular. It has become important to collect facts The comparativists or comparative educationists have to change the collected facts into systems and must offer explanations and theories regarding the collected data. Consequently, comparativists have been preoccupied with debate in the effort to identify the best method of conducting comparative education so as to yield the more valid data, information, and advice. Some of the individuals have been contributed, or the individuals who have been credited to the contribution to the development of comparative education during this phase include Vernon Manson, Joseph A. Lowers, George Z. E. Pereday, Brian Holmes, and also Edmund J. King. Institutions of learning, various agencies, and comparative education societies have contributed to the development of this phase. After the Second World War, university centers developed comparative education studies